What if today was the day that you stopped judging, or you did the best you could to stop judging? Receiving is an action. So when you start to receive different possibilities and you take that action, then something different can show up. What would you like with your body? What are you asking for? I, for a very long time, I thought my body was, annoying. It was frustrating. It was, I never had a judgment of myself, like my being. I was always like, yeah, I'm capable, I'm intelligent, I'm funny, I'm all these different things, or I had this sense of being okay with who I was, right? But my body was just annoying. My body was slowing me down. I was constantly judging my body, like constantly, constantly, constantly. And I know there's a lot of people who wake up in the morning and they have this litany of judgment. Like it's, where do you start? It's like something's too small, something's too big, or whatever it is, and keep judging it. And I definitely was one of those people. And for a long time, people would ask me if I would do a body class, and I was like, no, like I'll talk about business, I'll talk about money, I'll talk about all these other things, but I'm not talking about bodies. I would like to say to people, what if today was the day that you stopped judging? Or you did the best you could to stop judging, okay? Because I honestly don't know anybody who is 100% out of judging their body. Even Gary Douglas judges his body, but then he'll change it. Like, that's the thing, he'll change it really quick. I realized that judging my body was not getting me anywhere. It's like judging your financial reality. It doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't make you more money if you judge your financial reality. Okay. And I was judging the size and shape of my body for so long. And then finally, it was quite a few years ago now. I'm going to say like 8 years ago or something. I went, you know what, Simone, you need to stop this. And I really made a concerted effort to stop judging the size and the shape of my body. And I started asking myself, what would I like? And I'd like to ask all of you, what would you like with your body? Like, what are you asking for? And I have a Pilates instructor who was great. She actually initiated that conversation for me. She said, what are you asking for? It was the beginning of the year. And she said, what are you asking for this year? And the way she asks you a question, she's so present with it that I have to be present with it. And I was like, okay. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? I'm going to ask some questions about this. And what I got to was, as I was getting older, I found myself like I stood up off a chair and I call it old people's noise, when you go, oh, like this and make a noise. And I was like, oops. And I went, I don't want to be making old people noise. So I went, okay, I'm going to ask for flexibility and strength. Okay. So then I started asking for flexibility and strength, but you can ask for it, but what are you going to choose? Okay. So you need to also take action, and receiving is an action. So when you start to receive different possibilities and you take that action, then something different can show up. Now, interesting enough, I started to look at, okay, what can I do? Because I've always liked to move my body, but I definitely had the point of view, you know, sweating and getting all red in the face and everything was a good workout. And then I realized, wow, there is so much you can do with your body that develops strength or the flexibility, especially with something like, Pilates or any movement, that you're doing. And so I started building on that. And I noticed as I started building on that, the size and shape of my body changed, right? So I lost so much weight from stop judging it. So what if you stop judging your body, whatever it is? Now, I'm also going to say I noticed that, as the years passed by, then I started to judge aging. And I
Mhm.
went, you can't do this. You can't just pass one thing for the other. Now I'm judging aging. So I worked on that too. And I was like, okay, so what would it take not to judge my aging? And interesting enough, so many people have said to me, Simone, you look younger all the time. And in Facebook, when Facebook goes, here you were 5 years ago or whatever, I'm like, wow, I'm happier and I do look younger and I have more communion with my body. I'm more relaxed with it. And that changes all the time, all the time, all the time. I do not think that there's somewhere that you get to with your body that is the answer. Like it's the it's it's a constant state of being in question. It's a constant state of chaos and, being in question, choice, possibility, and chaos, which is the realms of creation. Okay. So, how many of you are refusing to be the realms of creation with your body? Realms of creation, choice, question, possibility, and chaos. Different things show up all the time. And about a year ago, just over a year ago, I live in Australia and I was meant to be traveling to Italy. And just before I was meant to go, I was literally like, it's not an exciting story. I was in bed with my computer and I was looking at these things and I just sort of stretched and my back tweaked and it just got progressively worse within the hour and I couldn't walk. And, fast forward, I ended up having to be taken to hospital in an ambulance, and they gave me all the drugs and everything. But I had a CT scan and I was very grateful for the CT scan because then it was like talking to my body and I could see what was going on. And I had these two bulging discs, etc. And then I went and spoke to a few different people and now it's like the movement I do with my body too. Like one of my physios said to me, Simone, you need to have glutes like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like you need to work on that. But I got it because, so many of us go, oh, my back is sore. It's not your back, it's something else, right? It's always something else. And it's always something else like we hide our power and potency behind us, perhaps. But it's also related to another part of your body. There's so much going on with you. Your bodies are friggin' amazing. Like, phenomenal. Like, and what my body, and I'm sure all of your bodies have put up with, like what we've done to them and what we've put them through is just like, wow. So at that moment, what I realized was I was being in question with my body. I had a much better relationship with it, like a much better relationship. But I was still forcing it. I was still choosing from conflict. So in the past 12 months, I've definitely looked at not choosing from conflict. And it's such an interesting energy to show up because one of the things I got to was I couldn't fly. I'm lying in bed and I said, I really want to go to Italy, right? And I'm talking to Gary Douglas and Dane here, different various conversations. I want to go to Italy. And I could hear my body going, we're not going to Italy. And I was like, what? And then I said to Gary, how do you choose from being in communion? Because I realized if I went and I said, right, we're getting on a plane, we're going, I would be in pain, all these different things. I could foresee what that would look like. But I also knew that if I listened to my body and just went, oh, I'll stay home, I'd be pissed off. I'd be angry. I'd be frustrated at my body. And I was like, well, neither of those seem like they're a choice that's going to create something greater. So I asked every single day and I kept asking myself questions. And one of the things I got to, which I thought was quite interesting, was if I choose with my body, if I'm in total communion with my body, I'll be bored. And I was like, wow, how much do we amuse ourselves by choosing in conflict with our bodies rather than in communion? And I'm lying in bed, hardly able to move. And I went, you know what? I'm willing to be bored. Okay, I'm willing to be bored. And I kept asking questions about going to Italy. Can we go? Blah, blah, blah. And then the next day I woke up and there was just, if you're in like a fairy tale, there was just this sense of peace throughout my world, throughout my body. It was like, the birds were singing and all of this. And I went, oh, I'm not going to Italy. And I felt so okay about my choice. Like my body felt good, my being was good. And I went, oh, that's what it's like to choose in communion with my body. So from then on, I went, I'll have more of that, please. Because it definitely wasn't boredom, but it wasn't trauma and drama. It was a different energy that I had not been willing to receive. So, how many of you have this beautiful, amazing energy of choosing with your body that you've been refusing to receive? And so here I am today, still having fun with my body, still having joy with my body, and asking what next and what else is possible. I mean, we always go, oh, I want to create this, I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. But you need to take some action, okay? But here's the thing, refusing and resisting is an action. Receiving is also an action. So, what can you receive with you in your body today? And stop refusing. There's so many people using access consciousness tools that just keep looking younger and better. And I think the key element there too is they're happier. Like when you're happier, your body's like, oh, yes. If there's something that you have up with your body, ask what's right about it I'm not getting, and what awareness are you gaining? Like I remember when I broke my foot and I had a spiral fracture and I wasn't able to walk on it. Like it was, I had to be in a boot and you weren't able to walk on it, etc. So most people go to, oh my God, that's terrible. Like, or when I got rushed to hospital in an ambulance, my friend said, that was so bad. And I was like, it wasn't, it was great. I gained more information. And when I broke my ankle, wow, did I have to receive. Like I had to receive so much because so many people had to come and help me and I had to ask, right? There is nothing wrong with your body ever. There is never anything to fix. Your body is not wrong and there's nothing to fix. It is giving you information though. Okay. So if you do have a pain or something, ask, okay, body. And this tool, Gary gave me this tool many years ago and I love it. He was like, say, you know what, I'm so sorry, body, that I'm not as smart as you. I understand that you're showing me this. Is there another way that you could show me? And I was like, brilliant. Okay. Because our bodies don't judge us, we judge them. Right. So if you look at your body, there's nothing to fix. Okay. But there's always an awareness you can gain for what's going on.